Today, I want to bring to your attention a fresh new protocol that launched on Arbitrum 3 days ago, called Kobe.money. So what you're going to see here is a layout of what this protocol is about, if the claims that they make could be actually true. And of course, at the end of the day, we're going to, reference the pros and the cons and all of that. If you go right now to the documentation page of Kobe.money, you're going to see them qualifying themselves as a community bank. That's the first thing that you're going to see. Now, this label has been slapped on another protocol called elephantmoney, and we have debunked why, in my personal opinion, that isn't the case. All right, so we have videos on this protocol, several ones actually, and not all so positive. Now, full disclosure, you're gonna see many references with what I'm about to tell you with elephantmoney, if you know what elephantmoney is about. All right. So just to put it out there, right now, there are two tokens disclosed that operate in this ecosystem. One is live, one isn't. But the governance token called Beef right now is live to buy on both SushiSwap through 2 LPs. So you can go right there on SushiSwap and buy it, or you can do it through the native dApp itself. So the taxes are a bit different at the end of the day. So it's 10% in, 10% out. And those taxes feed the treasury. So right off the bat, you're gonna, get the idea of where I'm going with this. There are similarities. So in theory, that treasury will be holding tokens worth of, depending on the value of Beef, but they will all be in Beef, so the governance token. All right, and of course, owning that token based on what they say is gonna allow you to be part of the DAO, so you're gonna be voting on future protocol decisions. Now, like I said, the treasury is basically being fed by transaction being made on these LPs, either through SushiSwap or their native dApp in Beef, right? The native governance asset. Now, also to put it out there, that liquidity pool is gonna be deepened by 25% of those 10% taxes that are being paired again. So assuming they reach a certain ceiling, then half of it is gonna be sold, paired with both USDT and ETH, because those are the 2 LPs, and then put back into the LPs. So over time, as more people transact, liquidity pools should deepen. One more similarity is that they did a liquidity offering, meaning people have given them money in exchange for Beef tokens before they went live. So they did go live, publicly, fairly, but there was a liquidity offering prior to this. And it's not on the top of my head, but they raised a decent amount. All right. So right now they have an announcement channel, but so far there isn't, I think, a public community channel, but I'll follow up on this as well. So that treasury not only collects money from those taxes on buys and sells, but it also has additional, potential incomes coming from arbitraging between the 2 LPs, because remember, one is based on a stable coin, one is based on a volatile coin, ETH versus USDT. So if ETH were to shoot up and the price moves beyond that 10% tax, so arbitraging those LPs is a possibility. Of course, there are also the fees natively from the LPs, so those LPs are generating fees. They will also be fed into and potential future investments, and that's what is written. All right. Now, the second token, which isn't live yet, by the way, is their own stablecoin called Stake. Now, Stake has a different, take to it versus the stablecoin that elephantmoney released, which was shrunk and now is 5x below its peg. This one actually is a bit more interesting. Full disclosure. So this one will not just be minted for something else, and that thing will buy Beef and then add it to the treasury. The idea here is that it will be supplied by the treasury through a lending model. But the lending model also has some similarities because the supply will mimic the backup, aka beef. So in theory, beef will be backed, the stake, the new stable coin will be backed by how much beef there is in the treasury, because the supply will be dependent on the treasury health at the end of the day. Plus, when that stake is supplied, aka loaned, you have people who come in to borrow that stake for USDT. So they will provide USDT in exchange for that stake. So now we have this stable coin that is backed by the native currency beef plus USDT, because they gave USDT for it. So that's in theory, in tandem. All right. But that USDT will also be used for additional yield incentives. Right now, we don't really know what will be the yield model for stake because it hasn't been released yet. My guess is it will be by the time I publish a second video on this, hopefully. Most probably, and that's my guess, it will follow something like what Futures has right now in Elephant Money. So most probably the case will be that it will have a staking dApp where you can put your stake and you're gonna earn most probably yield based on a combination of the USDT investments plus beef as well. So the treasury, the health of the treasury. But we'll see. I'm interested to see what they come up with. All right. So right now you can see that there are similarities. I did specify many of them. And the chart is still pretty new, so one cannot really assess. The market cap is low, the liquidity is not bad for what the market cap is. And you have these people who bought at the beginning through the liquidity offering who most definitely are not gonna sell anytime soon. So right now, up to 80% of similarities between the token that has a treasury backed by it, supplied by it, and a potential stable coin, and the label of decentralized bank. So here's the thing. If you were a believer in Elephant Money and you see how this is running up today, then this is the project to look at for you, right? At least to put it on your radar, to see what they have in store, to see what they will do with their stable coins, so on and so forth. But if you believe that this is a Ponzi scheme, then it's not for you, of course. All right. So I have said it many times that in general, when it comes to project testing out the waters, the sooner you are, the better off you'll be. That doesn't mean that they are a Ponzi, but there's risk, high risk, especially if you're so early into something so new. Okay. So one of the cons other than this is that, again, we are in a situation where the treasury is backed by a token that is contingent of early buyers not dumping the load and dropping the value to a point where that treasury drops a lot. We've seen what happened with Elephant Money. It rose to 100 something million in USD because of the Elephant token's price. Then it was brought down by 40% to 60 mil. And that's not even through top sellers selling. So there is risk in this because the model is eerily similar, but I think where they will be different and perhaps be better and shine is how they will implement the stake model in terms of earning yield on that stable coin, because it's much stronger by nature than what Trunk was. Because remember, Trunk was partially backed by a stable coin, but the rest was Elephant. This one, in theory, again, it is backed by beef, true, similar to Elephant, but there's also the USDT part. So if things go south, they can always take that USDT and then have it there for people to redeem their stake. So there is that additional factor, but again, all things considered, it's still very early and it's still at a stage where one needs to assess if they're ready to enter something like this and if they believe that it could, mimic the run that Elephant Money had. So as of what I'm gonna be doing, I think for now I'm gonna keep monitoring the situation. I'm gonna keep looking at whatever is going on. But honestly, speaking with the team, I like what I'm seeing in terms of transparency and whatever, you know, they're planning to do. But I always remain cautious because you never know at the end of the day what will happen. So I keep an open mind, but at the same time, I keep my foot on the brake. All right. So I really hope I brought you some value with this. I really hope this brought you a fresh perspective on a new project. So check it out, watch the video, of course, and check the documentation. And if anything comes new, I'll be the one to cover it. And if you're not part of our DeFi Ascension community, feel free to join. Link is going to be below. Cool room, like-minded individuals, mature investors. You're going to have fun. We'll be lucky to have you. And with that, see you in the next one. Have a good one.